Let's talk about savings because I have a Tootsie Roll bank that I throw my loose change in. I don't think that's going to work, Guru. Some experts have said that 10% of your income is the right number to start a savings plan. What does the finance guru, Dan Geltrude, say is the right number?
You know, our savings rate, whatever that may be, dictates all of our financial decisions, from buying a home to retirement and everything in between. So 10% has been a rule of thumb, but this is not something where you have a one-size-fits all. So my recommendation in this area is you have to reverse engineer these things as opposed to just using some hard rule of thumb. So we start this way. How much do you need for financial freedom or to reach your financial goal? So you start at the end and you work backwards. And then you say, okay, how much do we need to save over time to be able to reach these goals? And that plan is always going to include save more, spend less. That's the approach. Tighten your belt. People don't like that, but that's the truth of the matter. Of course, look, there's an alternative to this, and that's you enjoy your life as you go, you spend somewhat liberally, but then you have to recognize that you're going to have to work longer or you're not going to be able to retire at all. So the real answer here is if you want to go with a 10%, fine, that's better than anything less than that, but the truth of the matter is that you have to look at what works for you and then work backwards.
Finance guru Dan Geltrude, Dollars and Cents, 8:45 a.m. each Saturday morning. In figuring out how much you should withdraw each year from your nest egg in retirement to enjoy life, make sure that you don't run out of money, some people have suggested the 4% rule. Can you explain to the audience what is the 4% rule?
Sure. I don't like hard and fast rules because the world changes rapidly. So let's just focus in on this 4% withdrawal rule and where it came from. So the history here is if you withdraw 4% per year from a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds, and it's adjusted annually for inflation, the calculation comes out that you will have enough to last about 30 years, and that's based upon historical returns in the market. But the problem is this 4% rule was developed in the 1990s, and as we saw subsequent to that point, that certainly the stock market could take some unexpected turns downward. So losses in the early years of retirement would completely throw off this 4% rule. So it goes back to the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. So, and there's other factors that go into throwing the 4% rule out. You know, life expectancy, as we were just talking about. If we knew how long we were going to live, then it's easy. But we don't. And the assumption is that we're going to live longer, perhaps, than we expect. Other point, what's the future of Social Security? And that's going to factor in as to how much we're going to withdraw out of our nest egg. And then another open point, as we're seeing right now, is taxes. What's the tax liability going to look like based upon where the laws are and how much we need to withdraw in our retirement years? So in the end, you need a comprehensive approach with some contingencies built in, and of course, it has to be a flexible plan, King.